I want you to go to Exodus, the 20th chapter. We're going to start reading at the 2nd verse, and we're going to read through to the 6th verse. I am Almighty Yahweh, your sovereign, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other deities before me. You shall not make yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I, Almighty Yahweh, your sovereign, am a jealous sovereign, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate me, but showing mercy to the thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. The first thing I want to bring to our attention is that here once again, when he talks about loving him, the next phrase out of his mouth is by keeping my commandments. If you say you love the Father and you do not keep his commandments, you are a liar and you do not the truth. 1 John. And we need to understand that this is a time when it is necessary for us to be in reality with ourselves. There is no time for fantasies anymore. We are getting close to the end of time. And I think it's obvious if you know the scriptures and you look at the things that are going on in this world, it's obvious that we are getting close to the end of days. And that means we've got a short time to work in. But also that means the devil knows that he's got a short time to work in, that his days are limited. And he's picked up his forces to try to hinder each and every one of us. But our sovereign is mightier, stronger, and more faithful. And we know that if we remain faithful, we do have the victory. We have the victory in this thing, if we will just remain faithful to Almighty Yahweh. Almighty Yahweh is the one who brought you out of the bondage of this world. He brought the children of Israel out of the bondage of Egypt. And I think so many times in today's congregations that they know they come to Yeshua, and Yeshua gave them access to the Father, and they were saved by Yeshua's blood. But that's as far as it goes in many cases. They don't understand that Almighty Yahweh presented Yeshua, the Messiah, on this earth that he might die for our sins. The wages of sin is death, and that wage has to be paid. In anybody's life, it has to be paid. And it says right here that he would pass the sins of the Father down to the 3rd and the 4th generation of those who hate him. But he'll have mercy on the thousands who love him. Love him by keeping his commandments. That's what he says all through his word. Loving him by keeping his commandments. We need to understand that we are no longer held by the chains of sin, or of the flesh, if you will. Almighty Yahweh does not ignore the absence of loyalty to Him in all things. And when I say this, we're talking about idolatry. And most of the people in the church today feel like they're free of the sin of idolatry. And they don't understand that you can be in idolatry by worshiping yourself and doing what you want to do rather than what the Father says do. By disobeying His commandments, His statutes, His laws. If you will not walk in His commandments, His statutes, you are not only ignoring Him, you're rebelling against Him. It's just like your small child looking at you in the face when you tell them to do something and they say, no, I'm not doing it. That would have never went well in my home. And I don't think it goes well in the Father's home. Almighty Yahweh does not ignore the absence of loyalty to Him in all things. He does not ignore it. He rewards faithfulness and loyalty to the utmost. He rewards faithfulness and loyalty in protection and deliverance, and meeting all of our needs according to His riches and glory. If we come to Him through Yeshua, then His desires must be our focus. If we come to Him and we put on Yeshua, we come to Yeshua and we put on Yeshua, then His desires must be our focus. He must be our sovereign, our king. We must be focused on doing what pleases Him. For He is our creator. He is our sovereign. He is our all in all. Then we must be determined to come and become that new creation. That creation that was created after the word of Almighty Yahweh. Created after the image of Yeshua HaMashiach on this earth. We must become that new creation. Where we are buried with Him in baptism. We are supposed to be resurrected in a new creation, a new man, new life, born again. And we are not to come up and continue in sin like we never had an encounter with Him. It is a choice that we have to make to become that new man that He intended for us to be. Walking by faith, not by sight. Walking by the guidance of the Ruach HaKodesh and not the lust of the flesh. We have to be different. You cannot come to Him, get baptized, and be the same person you was before. If you are, you did not get what you were supposed to get. You should have a change of heart, a change of being, a change of desires. No longer walking after the rudiments of this world, but after the heavenly vision that the Father has given us of the victory that we have in the Ruach HaKodesh, the victory that we have in the midst of all the evil, demonic, wicked activities that's going on in this world today. People, it's not enough. It's not enough to be a laid-back church member. That's not enough. It won't get it. You have to be active in the kingdom of Almighty Yahweh. You are either active in the kingdom of Almighty Yahweh or you are nothing in the kingdom of Almighty Yahweh. What's missing today in today's perverted gospel is the accountability that Yahweh expects of each of us. He holds us accountable. If we are His, if we have taken on His Ruach HaKodesh, then we have different motivations, different ideas, different directions, different guidances. That must be in us. And if it's not in us, it should send up an alarm. It should send an alarm to us and alarm our inner beings. The church needs to understand that the choice is still theirs to make. You can come to the church and confess Yeshua HaMashiach and keep walking as you walk, and you've done nothing. We need to understand that the church cannot save you. Almighty Yahweh saves you through the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, not the church. But in saying that, if you are saved, then you should be drawn to the church. The Father said, fail not to assemble yourselves together, and even the more as you see the day drawing near. Do we see the day drawing near today? I think we do. I think it's obvious. If we don't see it drawing near, it's because we're blinded. The church needs to understand that they have the choice of which way they're going to go. Whether they're going to go with a popular message to draw the people in, or whether they're going to go with a message that Almighty Yahweh has given them and please Almighty Yahweh and be in right standing with Him. That is the very bottom line. We have to be in right standing with Him. Over the years, we've been given the idea that Yeshua does it for us. We come to Yeshua and He washes us clean. He changes us. You have to be willing. You have to come to Him and submit to the ways of Almighty Yahweh, the commandments of Almighty Yahweh, and make that change. You have to make that change. What did He say in His Word? Let each one with fear and trembling work out his own salvation. Does that seem like it's given to you? That don't seem like it's given to you, does it? It seems like you got to put forth some effort. You got to put forth some effort. You've got to serve Him. You have to be in attune with Him, with what He wants, what He desires. He is your sovereign. He is your King. He is your Savior. He is the one that brought you out. And you have to be focused on His life for you. He has a life for you. He has a path that He wants you to walk. You either walk His path or you walk your path. If you walk your path, the end is destruction. The devil never lets us see the end of the beginning of a thing. He never lets us see where that path leads to. He just shows us all the pretty flowers and all the pretty decorations there, and we start down that path, but we don't see where the end is. The end falls off of a mighty bluff into the fiery pit. We need to understand that we have to be serious about Almighty Yahweh. We have to be serious about our walk with Him, and we have to be serious about staying in covenant with Him. The idea that Yeshua is going to do it all for you is totally a misconception. Yahweh gives you the power to overcome. Why do you think He gave you the Ruach HaKodesh? To sit back, relax, and go to sleep? No, He gave you the Ruach HaKodesh First of all, to lead and guide you into all truths. Second of all, to empower you over all the power of the enemy. Dunamis power. And dunamis is the Latin word that dynamite come from. Dunamis power. So we need to understand He does not overcome for us, but the Ruach HaKodesh gives us the power and the understanding to overcome. It gives us the vision to miss all the pitfalls. During the Vietnam conflict, one of the favorite weapons of the enemy was to dig a pit and to put bungee pegs in the bottom of that pit, sharp pegs, and cover the pit with leaves and limbs where you couldn't see it. And the minute you stepped on them, you fell through and went on in that pit and was impaled on all those sharp posts that were put in the ground. The devil has one of those set up right after the other for you. His whole intent is to camouflage, deceive, and to have you walk into every trap, every pitfall he has for you. His concept for you is death, destruction, and torment. And the only hope you have is the word of Almighty Yahweh, walking in covenant with Him. That is your only hope. I don't care what the world tells you. That is your only hope. Too many have misunderstood the works of the Ruach HaKodesh. It doesn't do it for you, but gives you the power and the vision to do it. You can see, you can understand. It gives you revelation and understanding. It does not do it for you. It's not going to just all of a sudden put the word on your mind and all of a sudden you know it, and it just don't have to do anything to get it together. You don't have to work with it. That's not the case. If that was the case, there'd be thousands of Christians, more than they are. But today we have been misled and the gospel has been perverted. It's been made something that you don't have to do any sacrificing for. If there was no sacrifice given, why would in Romans Paul say, present yourself a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to Almighty Yahweh? Present yourself a living sacrifice. That means denying the flesh and living after the Ruach HaKodesh. Everything your flesh wants is not good. Matter of fact, when you get a big desire or lust in the flesh for it, you better examine it and see what it is, because it might not be acceptable. If it's acceptable, that's fine. I'm not running around looking for everybody's little mistakes or flaws, but what I'm saying is it's to your benefit to examine yourself that you are walking in obedience to the Father, that you are not putting yourself at odds with Him. You shall not take the name of Yahweh in vain. If so, Yahweh will not hold you blameless. Now, I'm going to really just bring a little revelation on your name. When we say we do not take Yahweh's name in vain, the first thing we think of is the word GD. Well, certainly that's taking His name in vain, isn't it? And not only that, if you say GD to somebody, you're asking Yahweh to destroy them. Well, actually you're asking a false deity, giving the devil power over them. Because God is not the name of our Father, our sovereign. But what it's saying here, when it said, take not the name of Yahweh in vain, but it's much more than that. It's taking his name on you without following his instruction and walking in the behavior that he has set for you to walk in. Taking his name and walking in transgression and saying, I'm his, I'm doing what he wants me to do. You're accusing him of perversion and sin. You are not to take his name in vain. When you take his name, you are to walk in obedience to him and give honor and glory to him. And you can't do that sinning. Almighty Yahweh made the effort to give us a clearly marked path to walk in, called the Torah. He spent much time of his prophets setting down the words of the Torah and the prophets. He gave the Torah to Moshe verbally and then wrote it down on stone. We need to know that he did not go to all this effort and all this time for something that is dead, done away with, no longer exists. He did not do that. He is the same today, yesterday, and forever. But we have been given the power by the Ruach HaKodesh to walk in obedience to him. If you are not walking in obedience to him, it's because you do not want to. You can't say you're too weak. If you're too weak, it's because you haven't got the Ruach HaKodesh. If you haven't got the Ruach HaKodesh, then you have not been saved. Hello? You've got the power, but you have to be willing to use that power and to loose that power in your life and to deny the flesh and self. Isaiah 35:8. A highway shall be there, and a road, and it shall be called the highway of Kadoshness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for others. Whoever walks the road, although a fool, shall not go astray. Even if you did not know, if you're walking that highway of holiness, if you did not know all the hidden things in the Word, still you're not going to go astray because you are walking the path that the Father set forth for you. What is the definition of a fool? And that word that was translated fool, evil, from an unused root meaning to be perverse. Figuratively, silly, foolish man. Whoever walks that road is going to do the things that Almighty Yahweh has called them to do. And if they walk on that road, they are going to keep his commandments. Highway has been prepared for those who desire to be his chosen ones and desire to walk the path that he set forth for us by his Torah, by the Ruach HaKodesh. We need to be understanding and be discerning of the word, knowing that we cannot walk in the flesh, living in the flesh after the desires and lusts of the flesh. We cannot do that and walk in the Ruach HaKodesh. You have to choose one or the other. You have to follow one or the other. You cannot follow the desires and the lusts of the flesh and the Ruach HaKodesh at the same time. It cannot happen. You either turn to the flesh and deny the Ruach HaKodesh, or you follow the Ruach HaKodesh and deny the flesh. It's called a highway of Kadoshim for a reason. It is a select group, a group that will separate their life and live according to His word. A select group, a chosen people. You must, first of all, have a pass. Then the next thing is follow all the freeway rules. The pass to get on the freeway is Yeshua HaMashiach. And the rules of the road is the Torah. It's so simple, people. It's so simple, it's hard to miss. But because you have a freeway pass, because you have Yeshua in your life, you must still obey the rules of the highway of Kadoshim. You must still follow the rules of the road. Just because you have the pass does not mean you can ignore all the rules of the road. Though many did not understand the rules when they agreed to obey, when they entered in and got the pass, they did not understand all the rules because the rules were not given to them, were not explained to them. It was not made known to them. Not because the rules weren't there. They were there. The Father has always made it clear that you had to become a new man, that you could not walk away the same as you were when you come in. Isaiah 35:9. No lion shall be there, nor shall any ravenous beast go up on it. There's not going to be, it shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. Redeemed. What does redeemed mean? Redeemed from the ways of the world, redeemed from the flesh, redeemed to walk after the Ruach HaKodesh. If you're not walking after the Ruach HaKodesh, you are still a slave to the flesh. If you're a slave to the flesh, you're not redeemed. And if you're not redeemed, you have no inheritance. I thought it very interesting. No lions was going to be on the highway. Guess what the devil's depicted as? A roaring lion. No demons on the highway of holiness. No demons on that road. They're not allowed. You got demons, you want to try to get on that road and you got demons hanging on you, you're not going to be allowed. Not going to be allowed. You got to rid yourself of the desires and lusts of the flesh. And I don't mean that because you got saved, you're not ever going to have a desire or lust again. I don't mean it. But I mean you have to deny them and cling to the Ruach HaKodesh. I thought it very interesting. He said there's not going to be no lions there hunting for prey to devour. There are like any other freeway. There are profound and declared benefits. I mean, why would they have freeways that you pay to get on? Because you don't have all the little towns to go through and stop and the benefits of it. All the hindrances of your trip. You bypass all the hindrances of your trip. The highway of holiness lets you bypass the hindrances of this world, the obstacles of this world, the sidetracks, all the detours. It lets you miss all the stoplights. Highway of holiness. Highway of holiness. There are many exits off of any freeway. And there's many exits off of the highway of holiness. Many exits off that highway of Kadoshness. You can take any one of them you desire. But there is only one that is desired to take. It leads you to the heavenly gates. That's the exit you want. All the other exits the devil has set up, detour signs and this and the other, and you can exit off, if you want to, for anything you desire. You can exit off of the freeway of holiness. But there's only one exit that is beneficial, and that is the exit that carries you through the pearly gate. We need to be careful how we walk, where we walk, and to stay on that highway of Kadoshness. Isaiah 35:10 and the redeemed, or the ransomed of Almighty Yahweh, shall return and come to Zion with singing, with everlasting joy on their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. No matter what you have to go through on this earth, you know there is a better day if you will stay on the path, the highway of Kadoshness. If you will stay on that path, you have a better day coming. You know that you have a better day coming. And if you don't stay on that path, you know that you got hell of a day coming. The ransomed of Almighty Yahweh shall arrive at New Jerusalem, and we shall be there, and we shall be ruling and reigning with them 1,000 years. It will be so great to be with Yeshua in New Jerusalem. Everlasting joy shall be on our heads. There will be no more sorrow, no more sighing, no more pain. All sickness will flee away. It will flee from you as if in terror, and not be seen by you at all. It will flee from you as in terror. Pain will flee from you. Sorrow will flee from you. Weeping and mourning will flee from you. There will be no more weeping, no more mourning, no more sorrow. At last, you will have arrived at perfect peace. And my precious saint, I challenge you tonight. I challenge you tonight that is what took Yeshua to the stake. He knew the prize that was set before him. He knew what he was going to inherit. And we, like him, must focus on the prize that's set before us. And the prize that's set before us is eternal peace and eternal rest. Eternal joy. No more sorrow, no more weeping, no more death. No more losing of our friends. Galatians 4, 3 through 5. I got a few scriptures I want to read here now. Even so, when we were children, we're in bondage under the elements of the world. Now it's telling you here, when Paul talks about bondage, what he's talking about. When we were children, we were under the elements of the world. We were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of the time had come, Yahweh sent forth his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those who were under the law, that we might receive the adoption as sons. Come on. We were redeemed. We're redeemed from the rest of the world. We're not like the rest of the world. We're not to be subject to the desires and lusts as the rest of the world is. 2 Peter 2:20. You're going to be reading through to 22. For it would have been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than having known it, to turn from the holy commandments. Come on. It'd been better for you not to know the Torah than to know it and turn from it. Now, why do you think Peter would say that if the law had been done away with? But it has happened to them according to the true proverb. A dog returns to his own vomit, and a sow, having washed, to her wallowing in the mire. And is that not what has happened to many traditional church members today? They come up and they acknowledge that Yeshua is the Messiah, that he died for their sins, and then they go right back to sinning like they were before. Transgressing all the commandments of Yahweh. Galatians 4, 6 through 7. And because you are the sons of Yahweh, because you are his sons, Yahweh has sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying out, Abba, Father. Therefore you are no longer a slave, but a son. And if a son, then you are heir of Yah through Messiah. We have something to look forward to, people. There's going to be an end to this time on this earth. There's going to be an end to it. There's going to be an end to the struggles. There will be an end to the hardships, all the obstacles that you have to face in this world. And the last enemy that's going to be put underfoot is death. There'll be no more death. Oh, death, where is your sting? We have to come to the Father and understand that if we are his and if we walk in obedience to him, that death is not a horrible thing for us. It's a door opening for us. Door opening for us to enter in to the eternal glory with our Father. Death is not something to be terrified of or to dread. Yes, sometimes passing away is a little painful and a little discomfort. But you know what's on the other side and what waits on the other side for you. You know what's there and what's waiting. So it's worth a little bit of struggle that we have to go through while living on earth. And it's worth any struggle we have to go through passing from this earth. But we have to put off the flesh. It has to be put off. We are not to fear death, but we are to know that death is just an opening a door for us. Which door is it opening for you? Glory or damnation? It's a door. You choose where that door leads. You choose which door you go through. The choice is yours. You love him tonight?